More Brandon Aiyuk shenanigans, and it just keeps getting worse. Aiyuk this time saying, "Release me so I can go sign with the Commanders already." And this is just, it's got more people talking. Not really new news, but just more, shenanigans and a final confirmation that Aiyuk does believe, whether it's true or not, whether there's any legitimacy or not, that he will be signing with the Commanders. And you got to ask yourself if the Commanders are thinking the same thing. Have they already talked to Aiyuk and they're watching him unfold publicly in front of everybody? And are they backing off the situation? What could end up happening is they sign Stephon Diggs in the middle of all this and Aiyuk misses his chance to be a Commander. That would just be the cherry on top of this situation. To have Aiyuk sit there, wait. All he's got to do is show up and the Niners will cut him. This is all Aiyuk's doing. Aiyuk is sitting on his hands. If he shows up, then the Niners have to cut him, because once he shows up and reports, he'll count against the team's numbers and they'll have to get rid of him. But until he shows up, the Niners don't have to do a thing, and nor should the Niners. The Niners should not cut him. The Niners are being geniuses in this situation. Anybody that says different doesn't understand how the world works. Because if he doesn't show up and count against the books, they can prevent him from going anywhere because they don't have to account for him. They don't have to cut him. And then eventually you'll have a team move on like the Commanders. And why not have a conference rival move on and get a different receiver? Do they know Aiyuk is good? Yeah. Is it also about the fact that Aiyuk has a lot that he can divulge about the 49ers situation and infiltrate from almost like a potential wealth of knowledge, if he could even collect himself and use the knowledge? I don't even know if there's much knowledge in there right now in Aiyuk's brain, but he has a lot of information that he could provide the Commanders, that he could display to the Commanders. The Niners are being absolute geniuses in this, and they should not cut him. They should not move on. It's not even a distraction. No one cares. No one in San Francisco is going, it's such a big deal, it's in our way. No one cares. This is all Aiyuk. He's being completely unreasonable and ruining his own career. Matthew Stafford is 1 year at a time retirement. Next year is in the cards, as is maybe playing. It depends on how he plays. He could retire after this year. We'll talk about that. BTJ, more good news. Russini, some more questionable stuff has surfaced about Diana Russini. We'll talk about here in a second. Brendan Strange gets an extension. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition. Hammer with the Super Chat Already edition starts right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So, any Super Chats will be handled in order in which they're received, and any $20 Super Chats will get immediate attention from now moving forward on this channel. As we get into the busier time potentially here. So I will move those straight to the front of the line. You don't have to wait for me to tackle news, etc., etc. Hammer Super Chat. By the way, Hammer, thank you for dropping this young man on screen. It is, where's my hammer time?
It's hammer time.
And Hammer says the following. He says, Smitty, Aiyuk does not live in the real world. Matthew Stafford, first ballot Hall of Famer, 1 year left. Appreciate the grind. Thank you, Hammer. Appreciate you dropping the Super Chat. So as far as this report goes, we'll get to the Russini stuff in a second. We'll get to the Aiyuk stuff after the Russini stuff because I don't want to get into this long Aiyuk situation because it's probably going to take a minute or two. I want to attack this stuff. Matthew Stafford said retiring from football is year to year. It's a year-to-year decision. So is his contract. He's on a 1 year deal, essentially, even though it's always a 2 year contract. It's the way the team can move the money around. And so Matthew Stafford is not going to play on his current contract in 2027. If he decides to return, it will be on a renegotiated new deal. And they've always said in-house that even though he's on these 2 year deals, they're always treated as 1 year deals. It's a way to manipulate the money. so they can pay him the most amount of money that he wants and give him the money structure that he wants. But this is a really, really like kind of tough spot to be in for Rams fans and people that own Ram players in their fantasy leagues, is because he is teeter-tottering. Like, we don't talk enough about how this is a fragile situation. His back, not only the spine, which is the greater problem, the bulging disc issue, that is the lesser of the two evils here. His spine is getting worse, and it will get worse. It's not something you can fix. And so it's going to progressively get more concerning. And all it's going to take is one shot to the back, and this guy could be on the shelf for a couple of weeks or a month or for the rest of the season or for his career. And so we don't talk enough about how important the offensive line is. They need to make sure they're protecting this guy. But there is a real world possibility he stays healthy for one solid full year, and they win a Super Bowl. And that's what they're going for. Now, they brought in a rookie QB. I don't think can get it done if they throw him in. Sorsby was seemingly being the answer that I think a lot of teams were going to quietly look to be their backup situation, and I would have expected the Rams to toy around with the idea of getting him. And now Sorsby's out. Sorsby can't even enter the NFL in 2026 because they ripped the supplemental draft opportunity from him, and so we're now left with a rookie QB. And I don't think that this situation, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be one that is rooted in security. But if we have a little bit of luck on our side, Puka Nacua goes to the moon this year if he can also keep his head on straight and avoid the tent and the tunnel. You've got Devontae Adams, who's older, if he can avoid injury. You do got a backup running back situation, so if Kyron were to get banged up, Corum will be plenty good. But this is a fragile situation. They push all their chips to the center of the table. They're all in. But it does not mean that this is a lock to go down the way that a lot of people want it to go down. It's a very, very intriguing situation. They're definitely on paper the number one team in the NFC, but it is certainly not something that you can count on because of all the moving parts. But Stafford, from a fantasy perspective and redraft, is a bargain, a steal. When I go to the ADP and I show you the ADP board, it is craziness. It is madness where this guy is falling. He was the number 2 or 3 quarterback, depending on your scoring, in 2026. Yet he goes all the way down here at 9.7. This colorful, picture-driven ADP board can be found at where? thefantasyfootballshow.com. And this ADP board, if you switch from board view to list mode, you'll get the most information that you can possibly imagine. The cost of the yearly membership on thefantasyfootballshow.com alone is worth the ADP board data, because it tells you my favorite picks, the picks I love, the picks I don't love comparatively to ADP. It dims out and grays out all the players that you're, if I select show only Smitty's favorite players, boom, the ADP board grays out. It's a phenomenal tool, by the way. But 9.7 is ridiculous ADP. Just ridiculous that he's going in near double-digit rounds when he was the number 1 quarterback for much of the season. Number 1, number 2, number 3, depending on your scoring. It's going to be a fun year. That's all I can say. You do need a little luck on your side. If Stafford's your quarterback, you don't have him back him up properly. But if you don't have him backed up properly, it's going to be an interesting year. Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron, Corum, Stafford, the 17,000 tight ends that they have on the roster. I like Parkinson the most, but Ferguson's got more upside appeal, but maybe cuff together in best ball as your tight end 2 and 3. Grab a bigger name guy like Kyle Pitts above it. It could be definitely a lucrative situation. Matthew Stafford, year to year, we'll see how it goes. He needs a healthy season. Fantasy football is relying upon it. Then we got this news right here. BTJ will be used in vertical routes in 2026, according to ESPN. We knew this. This is not new information. I've said this for months, that BTJ is the vertical downfield target that's not necessarily going to come off the field really ever. If they did rotate him out and they rotate everybody, then it'll just keep him fresh. I'm not going to even be worried about some sort of sign of that, because this offense does have 4 wide receivers, including, yes, Travis Hunter. So they could do a little rotation at times, but this will be the guy they lean on the most for the downfield, big, huge play opportunities. And BTJ is in a groove right now. He's healthy. He admitted he was hurt all last year. He is going to take people to the promised land. And as I've said over and over and over, you look at this ADP board, And BTJ is one of the biggest steals on this board at 6.2. Just unbelievable value as your 6th drafted player. Where did he go last year? Right around this 10, 11, 12 overall pick. And it left such a sour taste in people's mouths. They don't realize that they're not taking him in this round 2. They don't realize they're not taking him in this round 3. They don't realize they're not taking him in this round 4. Now you should be reassessing your doubt around BTJ and saying to yourself, okay, well, now it's starting to become a line in the sand that's crossing, and I'm all in. But people don't do that. They're fickle Freddies, and they see BTJ at 6.2 and they say things like, some moronic things like, but I don't know that I don't trust him. You don't need to trust him. He's going 6.2. He could get you 907, have a real disappointing year, and earn that value. BTJ's taking people to the promised land. You're either on board or you're not on board.
Too much.
This train, and if you aren't, you might as well just take your big fat lap now and get it over with.
Take a big lap.
So, Stafford, BTJ, those pieces of news out of the way. Shedeur Sanders, I'll just say this, there's just a lot of rumors. There's not even a lot of like good solid clippings that I was going to put up on screen or talk about, just that they're unsubstantiated rumors that are not coming from the team necessarily at all, unless they're being leaked or whatever. These are not rumors. Where's my Shedeur Sanders graphic when I need it? They're not rumors that I don't know where it is. I'll have to look for it, but apparently I lost it. Let me put him. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders is being rumored to be a potential concept of a trade, maybe if he doesn't win the number 1 QB job and Deshaun Watson grabs a hold of it. Again, the team's not confirming this. Munkin's certainly not confirming this, and Munkin says he has 2 starters that he's just got to decide between the 2. But Shedeur very much could be one of those players that gets shockingly traded because they don't want the drama or dilemma of having to decide, is this going to hamper Deshaun Watson? Or if Shedeur wins, they're not trading Deshaun Watson because he can't be traded on his contract. But this is definitely one of those things where Shedeur, if they don't believe in him, they could get rid of him and get something now for him. A team would pay a decent amount for Shedeur, a team that needs a quarterback. I'm not saying you're going to get a first-round value or anything like that. The guy fell in the draft tremendously. But someone might say, hey, I don't really want to have the headache of this duality that we got going on. Even though you would think that a team like the Browns would want 2 options. Kind of like the Falcons. If Tua doesn't work, they've got Penix Jr. But for whatever reason, this sounds like there's a little bit of smoke there. Where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire, sometimes there's not, or the fire gets put out. So take that for what it is. Shedeur Sanders may or may not be on the move at some point if Watson wins the job. Diana Russini, this is, let me get to the super chat from Jesse. Jesse, appreciate you. Keeper Judkins in round 8 or Tootin in round 12. It's not even a close, bro. I draft Tootin over Judkins 1,000 times out of 1,000. So you're giving me, and Jesse, you probably heard me talk about that. You give me the round advantage as well. I would do this if it was flipped. I would take Tootin in 8 and leave Judkins in 12. But you're giving me the player I draft 1,000 times out of 1,000 over the other, and I get him as a 12th instead of an 8th. It's the easiest decision I've been asked all month. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for the super chat. Russini, there's a report, video resurfaced of Russini describing how she got pulled over and was about to get a ticket. And she asked the officer, what, did he know that this news was happening, blah, blah, blah. The officer said, that's not my favorite team. Diana Russini. Russini said, what is your favorite team? And he said, this is my favorite team. And she said she wouldn't name the coach, but she said, hold on. She got that coach on a FaceTime call, showed it to the officer. The officer started talking to his favorite head coach. And the head coach said, go ahead and let Diana Russini off this ticket. She's, a good person, blah, blah, blah. She didn't get a ticket and she got off. Now, you could say on the surface level, who cares, Smitty? Who cares? Like, would I be a bad person if I did that? No. Everyone probably think it was pretty cool, Smitty. You pulled that off. That was pretty awesome. But she is a reporter, and this kind of behavior is not allowed, number one, by the organizations that she works for. to owe favors, to have these kinds of inappropriate situations going on. But it's just another example of what Diana Russini's willing to do to just get out of. She made, the news broke that she made over $700,000 or $800,000 a year. What was it? I think it was $700,000 or $800,000 a year in salary from the Athletic per year. She could afford a ticket, but look what she does in order to get her way. And that's a crazy story that she told herself. She told that story, and it's coming out now, and it's definitely exposing what she's capable of doing to try and get something. And what do you think she's doing behind closed doors with Vrabel? This was a very, very bad piece of information to come out now on Russini, as everybody's kind of drumming up more stuff today and yesterday on it. And so we'll see where this goes from here. I just know that Vrabel is sitting there just cringing. I'm sure he loads Page Six and other news reports every morning, just praying that there's not something new on Diana Russini. And this doesn't even have to do with Vrabel, but just every single thing that comes up, it's just more of Vrabel's holding his breath. Please don't let anything come out today. Please don't let my name get brought up today. Please let me move on and let me coach this team. I don't know how this is going to go, what's going to happen. We don't know if she's ever going to tell her story. There's still a whole lot of stuff that could turn this situation upside down for Vrabel and the Patriots. And as I said, and I'll say this, I don't care what anybody says, I believe that they should have moved on. And it makes it tough to do it now, because it's like, why are you moving on now when at the greater part of this thing, it was more pressing. But they could maybe pressure him to resign or something. But I just think that this is bad for the Patriots to have what is a likely inevitable blow up later. I just can't see this thing going away. And as we get closer to football, more people are seeking the football information. Right now, we've got 10%, maybe 15% of our viewers here now on this show. We've got 140, 50 people in and out of the room. Sometimes we get up to about 200 live viewers. During the heat of August and September, we have 500, 700, over sometimes 1,200 live viewers in any one show I'm doing at any one moment. That is an astonishing amount of more people that are not yet here to consume football. Those are some of the seasonal viewers. A lot of the diehards are here every single day, and I appreciate you. You know who you are. But what I'll tell you, thank you. I know, I see you. But as more people come in, more people are going to watch, as there's more views and clicks to be had, and more people seeking out information, and parts of the story being held back because they know it's going to pop even more if they hold on to it. I just worry that this thing is going to blow up at the wrong time for the Patriots and cause turmoil. And then they got to switch, how they're doing things, decide who's coaching this team, how they're going to go about it. Is it a permanent thing? Is it a stand-in for 1 year? I just wish they would have moved on so that we don't have a blow up later when it matters in the thick of everything in August. It would have been a lot easier transition, more time to prepare for your head coach, your what would be new head coach. I just think there's a 50%, I'm not saying it's 100% chance, 50, 60% chance that there will be something big that happens that causes Vrabel to step down, or the team to force him to step, whatever the case, however it ends up happening. And people are just looking for it. And they're not going to stop looking for it. And they're not going to stop reporting on it. Because when there's new information, even I'm reporting on it. Everyone's reporting on it. And only 10 to 15% of football consumers are even paying attention right now. They pay attention once July 4th comes around, middle of July, August 1 especially. That's when people are even watching for the most part. And it's just going to, the information's going to grow and more is going to come out. And this is just crazy, though, when you think about what she does for a living. She's a reporter. She's manipulating relationships to get out of speeding tickets. And what favors does she owe said head coach that she wouldn't reveal that got her out of a speeding ticket? How is it that she's FaceTiming head coaches and they're answering the phone immediately and talking to her on demand? Here, talk to this officer. How are head coaches doing the bidding for Diana Russini's getting out of speeding tickets. It's crazy and wild. We shall see. As for everything else that we've got going on here today, Aiyuk is the last thing that we'll speak on. And Aiyuk is a player that is a very, very toxic player to whatever team he ends up landing on. And I get the appeal. And I too, as a commander, if I was a commander decision maker, I too would be considering the reuniting of Aiyuk. Yes, it was FaceTime. It was FaceTime. It was here, talk to this head coach. Let me get who's your favorite team? I got a ticket. Okay, hold on. Here. Hey, head coach, talk to this police officer for me, please. Get me out of a speeding ticket. Who has that kind of relationship as a reporter with head coaches where you FaceTime? I mean, what are these head coaches' wives even think? Who here? Raise your hand in the chat if your wife would be okay with a reporter, a female reporter, FaceTiming you randomly to get you out of speeding tickets. Raise your hand, I'll wait. I mean, it's just madness when you think about it. It's from afar, people are like, relax. It's just a speeding ticket. Relax. It's just a FaceTime call. Wild to me. Wild to me. Aiyuk, and you could say that we're tired of hearing it. It doesn't matter. This is brand new information. It's always brand new information with Aiyuk. Let me get this hammer, and then I'll go right to your super chat. Aiyuk goes on Instagram again. Every day it's a new post for Aiyuk. Every day he's doing something shady with his Instagram posting. And this one right here in particular, Aiyuk, I have it on my Instagram if you want to go see it. He says right here, he posts an image of the football. It's a Commanders football, and it has a Commanders logo on it. And the caption reads, "Best team, best sport." Let me read this exact word for word. It says, "The best team in the world, the best league in the world, and the best sport in the world." And then he shows the Commander football. And then he says, "Release me so I can go sign with the Commanders." So this is the first time that Aiyuk has said that he's signing with the Commanders. Whether we believe that or not is a whole different story. But this is the first post where he said, "Release me so that I can go sign with the Commanders." He's dropped little Commander hints here and there, but he's never said he will be signing with the Commanders. It will be interesting to see how the Commanders view this situation, because maybe they have had an initial conversation with Brandon Aiyuk about joining the team. But you wonder how much time and how many Instagram posts have been in between that conversation and right now. Is it possible that this team says, look, let's go after Stephon Diggs? My prediction, and I'm not saying that this is a lock or I have any inside information. This is more of a guesswork, funny prediction, cherry on top. The Commanders move on. In between all of this, they sign Stephon Diggs, and Aiyuk is screwed out of going to the Commanders. And what's so funny and interesting about this situation is that the Niners are geniuses. The Niners are acting with genius intention here. And for anybody that says that the Niners should just move on, especially Niner fans that say that like in the comments of a post somewhere and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is a strategy. This is a game of strategy. And the Niners are willingly handing Brandon Aiyuk, knowingly handing Brandon Aiyuk preparation time, information that he could spill to the enemy. And yes, a good, talented potential player that they don't want playing for them, and he doesn't want to play for them. If people say, if he's so good, then why do they want to get rid of him? Like this guy goes on his Instagram and says, you either want me, you bring the ball to the basketball court, and when they don't pick you to play and they say, give us your ball, you don't get picked, you're going to watch. No, give me my ball, I'm going home. That's what Brandon Aiyuk describes in his cryptic message that the Niners are doing. They brought the ball to the court. No one wanted to pick the Niners, so they're taking their ball. No one gets to play. Well, that's kind of not true, Brandon Aiyuk, because they asked you to come help them win home field advantage and a Super Bowl. And you said no. What player does that? What player gets to sit out the entire season and walk right into the playoffs and right before that help earn home field advantage in 1 or 2 games before the playoffs and go win a Super Bowl and get paid $30 million per year? This guy walked away from all that. You got to question what's going on. And if you're the Commanders, why would you pay somebody that just did that? Makes no sense at all. No loyalty to winning a Super Bowl, no loyalty to your money, no loyalty to the team. And you keep barking about how the Niners want to have their cake and eat it too. You're the one that didn't show up. You're the one not returning phone calls. And you're the one not showing up now. And if this man just walked right into the facility, guess what would happen? The Niners would release him near immediately. Until Aiyuk shows up and reports, he doesn't count against the team's numbers or situation. So they can just sit back and say he doesn't exist. He's in limbo. And if we send him now, the Commanders, conference rival, they get to have a player that can spill the beans on the offense. They get to have a player that's this much more prepared to go against them. They get to have a player that the Niners drafted with intention, know he's talented. They wanted him to play for their team. He refused to play for their team. So yes, part of them is saying, us holding him hostage here, which is really him holding himself hostage and allowing him to do it, is helping us not have a team in our conference that's a little bit better than they could be. This is genius. And for anybody saying that this is a distraction, it is not a distraction at all. This is, no one cares in San Francisco. Nobody cares in San Francisco. Not a single person cares in San Francisco. Is that a distraction? No one even knows, no one even cares about Aiyuk right now. This is funny to them. Except for the casual fans, like, we need to move on. You don't need to do anything. Aiyuk just needs to show up to get released, and he's not doing it. He's literally making this situation worse, and he clearly doesn't have it all there right now, or he would show up, walk in, get cut so he could go sign with the Commanders. It's wild. Absolutely wild. And now he just keeps making it worse and worse and worse with every single Instagram post that he drops, every story post that he puts out there. Now, for the first time, he has said, release me so I can go sign with the Commanders. They're essentially offering him a deal, he says. I wonder if it's even true. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Let me get the Hammer's additional super chat, because Hammer's a monster, dropping a secondary super on screen. Hammer, appreciate you. Hammer says the following here, ladies and gentlemen. If I could get it to pop up here, here it is. I'm not a Patriots fan, nor do I root against them at the same time. If I were a fan, I think I would want him gone. I understand the success last year, but we are living in reality now. Like, I get it. I understand where a lot of people will come from, especially a Patriot fan. They're going to say positive things about their head coach, and they should. And there's nothing wrong with that. So many Patriot fans watching, like, you can have a little bit of tendency to be like, you know, he'll be okay, or this isn't that big of a deal, or you're just going to have that. You're not going to not have that. It's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But from an objective outside opinion perspective, somebody that's looked at this stuff for 25 straight years, not saying I'm right about everything, but you look at this situation, and I think the phone line's not open yet. Hold on, I'm sorry. Dial in, whoever that is, dial in one more time. I didn't have the phone line fully open, and so it was showing the call missed. I think from an outside perspective, with all the experience that your boy brings to the table, 25 years of, and I'm not right about everything, I admit that. I'm telling you that this has more of a problematic situation in the works than it doesn't. Like, there's definitely a world where this ends very, very badly for the Patriots to not get this done in front of camp, in front of preseason games, because when one coach leaves, they don't just implement everything that the former coach implemented. Think about it. If you took over for your boss at your employ, would you just be like, what's he do? I'm just going to repeat what he does. No, you kind of go, you know what? I've always wanted to do this. And this was his thing. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's you're going to have changes, and you're not just going to rinse and repeat what was being done. So you want the most amount of time to implement the least amount of changes. And my gut tells me more is going to come out. That's going to make it not just where he gets fired per se, but he steps down because he has to for his family. And he's thinking, if nothing comes out, I'll be okay. But the problem is that's a dark cloud hanging over his head and the team's head, walking into the most vital part of the offseason. And it's just not a smart move to let it linger like that. All right, let me go to the first caller, then over to Hammer. First caller, 858. Who's this? Where are you calling from? What's your name? You're live.
Hey, how you doing, Smitty? Christian call from Hollywood. What's up, man?
I can barely hear you, bro. I don't know if you're on speaker or what, but we can barely hear words.
Okay, can you hear me a little bit better now?
No, I don't think. I think you're probably on speaker or a headset.
Yeah, it's my earpods, so they're not coming in well. I can call back later.
Okay, I literally trying to tell you to like get off them, and you're like, oh, so they're not, so it is their AirPod. Like, call back in if you want, but call back in from another connection. I don't know how many times I got to say that. Hammer, you're live.
Yeah, for the Brandon Aiyuk thing, it's just an absolute crazy situation. Like, when he was on the field and playing, you would think that, like, he wasn't getting the ball. Like, if you look at when he was on the field, he was a massive part of their game plan. And, like, Brock Purdy was hitting him on the numbers. And, again, how that...
All right, mute yourself. I'll be right with you.
Wasn't, being utilized. I mean, I just... I don't know how much more they can do. And, again, if I was the 49ers, I would go out of my way to make it hell for him.
Oh, it's not even
there. I mean,
it's not even hell too. It's just smart. Like, part of them, I'm sure they're saying, let's stick it to Aiyuk because he screwed us. But it is just smart doing what they're doing. There's no other reason to move on. He's not there. It's just a paperwork issue at this point. He hasn't shown up. They don't have to worry about dancing around him. He hasn't shown up there. Like, he hasn't reported. So they just set this file aside. It's not a distraction. It's his own fault. No one cares about what he's posting. Everyone's just laughing at him. It's not a distraction at all. They just set the file aside. The moment Aiyuk shows up, I know it's painful, but he's going to have to show up. They will cut him. And then he gets to go on his merry way. But he's going to screw his own situation up because I'm sure he's not talking regularly to the Commanders about all of his posts that he's posted. No. And he's probably had a conversation with them. And that conversation was a long time ago, and a lot has happened in between. And they're just going to go in the direction of Stephon Diggs or something. And then watch what's going to happen then. Like, who's his favorite team then? It's going to be wild.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm still gonna play the game. But honestly, if I was, to call a bluff or something, I probably would call it on him, saying that he has a contract in place with the Commanders. I don't believe that for a second. Again, I mean,
he doesn't have it in place.
Mistakes, but,
yeah, he can't have it in place.
Right.
But just the concept that they would sign him. Yeah, there's nothing in place for sure. There can't be. But you're saying you call his bluff on that they're even interested or that they're going to offer. You mean? Yeah.
They're going to offer him, like that. It's pretty much almost set in stone the minute whatever he walks in, and I guess he's officially released.
I call Cap too.
He's walking into. I don't agree with that, but I mean, again, like I said when I was defending Brock Purdy, like those years when he had Aiyuk on the field, Aiyuk was a massive part of that offense, and I just. Again, I don't understand why he felt disrespect. I mean, he was literally getting massive target volume with Christian McCaffrey on the field. I just don't really know what else you want. Again, I'm not in the facility, but just watching the 49ers play, I mean, he was getting. Yeah, I don't know.
Alex,
something, but
hang tight real quick. Just you can stay on the phone there though. Hey, Smitty, haven't been to a live stream in a while. I just want to say in a while, but best believe I've been watching. Thank you, appreciate you for dropping the super chat, Alec to the moon. Yeet says, any faith in Antonio Williams? We talk about Antonio Williams all the time. We love Antonio Williams. And they bring in a veteran. It's certainly going to change a little bit, but at the same time, if they don't bring Debo back, Antonio Williams plays the Debo role. He catches stuff behind the line of scrimmage. That's what he did in college, like a lot of the stuff that a wide back would do. So this is definitely, a good place for him regardless. And, Diggs is older, so he's developing. He's a rookie. You can't expect the world out of Antonio Williams his rookie year anyway. So whatever ends up happening through Diggs or Debo or whatever, Aiyuk, there's still going to be a role for him. And no, I'm not worried about Antonio Williams. And this one here, 49er fan here, and the 49ers are doing is smart, letting Aiyuk self-destruct on his own. Why would the Commanders even want this circus at this point? I don't know. That's what we're saying. I think that maybe at one point they've shown interest or shown interest through JD5, who's told, Aiyuk, and then Aiyuk's just so far out of the realm of normalcy and reality that he's just saying things he shouldn't say, and the Commanders are probably going, yeah, look, JD5, we told you we look at it, but this is bad. We don't need this distraction. And JD5 might, we haven't heard JD5 say anything. Like, it doesn't mean he's all on board this anymore too. We've all had that friend that's gone off the rails, and we're kind of like, you go to Vegas with him and he's acting out, you step away from the table and they're escorting him out. We're like, we didn't have anything to do with it. I know him. Hey, we'll see you back at the hotel, Steve. Like, I mean, that's kind of what's probably happening here. All right, let me go back to that first caller, see if he got his phone cleared up. I'm sorry, what would you say your name was, bro?
Oh, hey, how you doing? You're talking to 858 Christian, right?
Yeah, Christian. Now we can hear you loud and clear. What's up, my boy?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had the headphones on. Well, what's funny is actually just now you pretty much answered my question, but I evolved my question as I listened to you speak. My question was going to be, hypothetically, because you kind of lit me up a little bit on Instagram just recently about if Aiyuk went to the Commanders, would that hurt Antonio Williams' stock? So I just heard your response to that. So here's what my next question would be then. So hypothetically, if Aiyuk does go to the Commanders, and let's just say he still got it, like George Kittle actually just kind of came out recently and said, oh, he looked great last time I saw him. So as far as dynasty goes, would you still keep Antonio Williams maybe ahead of guys like Branch and Fields and Stribling, or would you kind of move Antonio Williams a little bit back further with the addition of Aiyuk?
Well, you keep and I remember your comment. You said I lit you up. I wasn't lighting you up. You were just saying how do we feel about Antonio Williams when the post on Instagram was how Aiyuk is off his rocker, and you
100%.
I know, and you responded as if, okay, so what's this mean for Antonio Williams? As if something positive had happened. That's why I said what I said to you. I wasn't lighting you up.
I love it. Yeah,
I wasn't lighting you up.
No, I appreciate
it. But second of all, you're still asking a question at this moment in time. We're not trending in any sort of direction of Brandon Aiyuk being a Commander. So just because he says cut me so I can go sign with them, we're sitting here saying that maybe he does. Maybe the Commanders are going to still offer him a contract. Maybe not. Maybe they've changed their mind because of how off base he is. Also, your reference to Kittle saying he looked great. I don't know how you got there from watching Kittle's interview, because Kittle basically crapped on him at the end of the interview, and Kittle hasn't seen him. He hasn't shown up, so I don't know how he say he looks good. He talked about how he was a good player. As far as he knows, he's getting back to good health. He's seen, like, maybe he's seen him like run or something. But Aiyuk hasn't played, so he doesn't know how he looks. So that I feel like that gets twisted by people that want Aiyuk to be good or want Aiyuk to he looks great right now. Everyone says no one knows what he looks like. Right. Bro, he hasn't played football in 2 years. Like, there's no way to know.
I'm dying to cut him. Yeah.
Right.
Oh God, I can't wait to have him off my freaking roster.
I'll say this though, I keep drafting Aiyuk in the 16th round, the 17th round in best ball, because I do think he'll end up on a team. I do think that there's talent there. I don't know that it's going to come to fruition. It certainly could backfire, but at 16 round value, who cares? But I don't think this is something you run away from Antonio Williams for. Antonio Williams is not faced with any obstacles right now at all. Aiyuk is not on the Commanders roster. The Niners are holding him hostage, and he's holding himself hostage in that. I would say that I do like Malachi Fields a little bit more. I do like Brazel more. There are several receivers I do like more from a skill perspective than Antonio Williams. Antonio Williams goes into a very nice situation. He's going to play that Deebo Samuel wide back role for the Washington Commanders. Deebo Samuel honestly should be brought back. I don't know why the Commanders don't bring him back. He was number 1 or number 2 in the National Football League last year in yards amassed from catches that were behind the line of scrimmage. So Antonio Williams will be filling that role if they don't bring back Deebo, and it doesn't look like they have any sort of interest to do so. So he's fine. He's fine. But is he Malachi Fields? No. Is he Brazel? No. Is he one of those wide receivers? He's not as good as those guys, but I like him a lot. So Stribling's okay. I think he's pretty decent. I'd almost say that Antonio Williams, if Aiyuk was on the Commanders roster, Stribling's probably about equal. And I could go either way. But I'm not sure I see elite talent out of either of them to the point where we've got some guy that like Brazel could become. Brazel might not become that. Malachi Fields might not become that. But these are two better wide receivers from a skill set perspective.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. I got stock in all of those guys, but I still got a couple more rookie drafts coming up. So I was seeing where I wanted to put Williams now, just in case, hypothetically,
he's
if
good.
Aiyuk joins. So I want to drop him down or not.
I've drafted, I'll put it this way, too. I've drafted Williams and Aiyuk on a bunch of best ball teams together. Because that way, one of them is going to, at least even if it's rotational, have a pretty decent year catching footballs from JD5. So it's been kind of an intriguing handcuff, or you could say, cuffing situation.
Love it. I agree with everything you said. I just needed to hear someone else freaking say it. So I feel better now.
All right, man.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Smitty.
you. Later, bro. Hammer, what else you got?
Yeah, I mean, I also am curious if Deebo ends up back with the 49ers. I mean, I'm a Deebo fan. I'm part homer in me, but I mean, Deebo in that offense, allowed for so much and everything kind of to open up. I mean, you just kind of also got the sense that everyone on the team really loved him, and he's like a presence. And quite frankly, production wise, I didn't really see a drop off last year, but again, that was JD5 getting hurt and everything, but I don't know if there's a world where he ends up back with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers.
There definitely could be a renewed interest. It seems like they moved on. There was a lot of rumors about that, and then they kind of got shot down, but doesn't mean they can't rekindle the idea. I would say the reason why they probably won't is because I think they're set on putting, they got Evans. They're set on putting Pearsall in the spot that they want to put Pearsall in the spotlight, I suppose. And then I think they will develop Stribling to be next in line. And I don't know that Deebo, because he's older, just might delay that. I don't know. Hard to say. Certainly think that I would rather him go somewhere else so that he has a shot. Like if he goes to Miami, he has a shot at being their number 1 wide receiver for at least half the year until Chris Bell's ready. So that's kind of nice, whereas if he goes to the Niners, he's behind Evans, he's behind Christian McCaffrey and catches, might even behind Kittle. And I don't know if they'll use him enough.
He's just unique to me in the sense of playing quote unquote wide receiver, the only wide receiver in the league that once he has the ball in his hands, he plays like a running back. I think he has a unique
put him in
set that not many.
Put him in LV, put him in Miami. I think you can get a little bit more out of him for his final, year. So I think that would be good. Someone said they don't believe in. I just don't believe in JD5. Well, that's your problem, not my problem.
Oh.
I don't know how to help you with that. Can I still put?
Yeah.
Deebo can still put up fantasy numbers. That's correct. He definitely can. If he's in the right spot, I think in San Francisco, he probably wouldn't put up consistent numbers just because of all the mouths to feed. And you never know. I think of an injury struck, but I believe Deebo Diggs, Aiyuk 1 will be in Miami. And for those that think, and for as much as I'm ripping apart Aiyuk, and I am, If you don't think a team will give him a chance that needs a wide receiver and they'll make a real team-friendly, contract, someone's going to give him a shot. Someone's going to give it. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't, like, he will play football somewhere. And we've seen players, first of all, social media is at a whole nother level than it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, it just keeps getting more massive, right? Antonio Brown was no different than Brandon Aiyuk. And he was still he still had a job. He burned his feet off in Oakland. Like, there was nobody that unraveled more during his play than Antonio Brown, who ultimately took his shirt off during the middle of a game, did a peace out, and walked off through the tunnel and retired during a game. There's nobody that was up to more shenanigans than Antonio Brown while he was playing the game. Aiyuk is still a good year or two away before he goes totally Brandon Aiyuk. I'm sorry, Antonio Brown. So he certainly could find a home. I just think that social media is making things look as if teams wouldn't even give them a shot. I just don't know if the Commanders will, because he's basically name dropping the Commanders, and it's just a really weird situation that I kind of don't feel like Adam Peters would partake in. But he doesn't make all of these decisions, and so he makes a lot of the calls and decisions. But this is going to be a little bit deeper than that, and they're definitely going to look at what JD5 wants. They brought in Rachaad White, ASU alum. They're probably looking to bring in Brandon Aiyuk. So I mean, you think they 100% like looked at Rachaad White and said that's the guy we want, or did they say we like him and JD5's like, yes, get him, and they're like, yeah, we'll do that. Like, there's some influence that JD5's having clearly, and so if he thinks that he can get Aiyuk under control, and look at AB was very well behaved for a good year plus with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. And you remember all the rumors that he was staying with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady just had him on full control and lockdown. and then he did good. Like, AB was so well behaved for a while, and then AB just went off his rocker again. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think JD5 just, again, from his rookie year, was able to do what he did, and I think he has a pretty good head on his shoulders. I don't think he's going to essentially put that at risk, regardless of whether he likes this guy. I could wholeheartedly am seeing I know what we did my rookie year. I'm not going to essentially roll the dice on this.
Yeah. Just now getting back into the swing of things. How are we feeling about Tootin and Hendo this season? Well, you've missed a lot. I gotta come to terms. Sometimes someone will ask me a question, especially in a super chat. I'm not gonna, snap back at you or anything like that. But someone will ask me a question like, "So do you like Tootin this year?" I'll be like, "Bro, I've been making Tootin videos all off season, like every other day." And someone comes in and goes, "Do you like Tootin this year?" It's funny because not everybody consumes the show. They consume it differently, and I have to respect that there are people that are getting back in the swing of things and they don't watch 365 24/7. But yes, Tootin and Andy are going to the moon this year. Tootin is looking phenomenal. Rodriguez underwent a procedure, foot procedure, so he's out for a little while, and so Tootin's just been consuming everything he can. And the guy runs faster than a 4.3 40. He said so himself. And he's faster than he ever once was, and he did run a 4.32 if you remember. So he's like, yeah, I'm faster than that now. The guy's going to look like he's been shot out of a cannon, and I just can't wait for Tootin to play top 12 running back numbers this year and watch everybody that said he won't, you're crazy, watch them come crawling back into the live stream and begging for forgiveness that they didn't draft Bashal Tootin. How can I trade for him, Smitty? Okay, I didn't listen to you. How can I trade for him? Should I give up my first round pick for Bashal Tootin? And we're going to say, it's too late. You just got to watch from the sideline on this one, pal. You sat on your hands like Brandon Aiyuk and didn't take care of business. Yes, we love Bashal. And Hendo, is both of them go in round 5. So you almost have to draft one early if you wanted to go Hendy and Tootin, but the 5th round will take care of you, Bricked. You're gonna get the player you need in round 5, Hendy or Tootin. Love them both. Hendy's got the ability to be a top 5 running back. Tootin's got the ability to be, I would say, like 8 to 14. And I think they're both going to be phenomenal. The only difference between Tootin and Hendo is that Hendy has not been given the work yet that we want him to have, although he did have 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie last year. So I think it'll sort itself out, whereas Tootin's being given the job right now. It's his job to lose. Even if he only had 61%, we went over this a ton, Brick. You'll have to go check it out, the videos. Just go look for any Bashal Tootin or Hendy graphic on a thumbnail. But this is what ETN got: 61% of the running back duties. ETN only had 61%. It was like 58 to 61%. So when someone says something about it's a committee, it's good. Okay, because last time this worked out pretty well last year, ETN was a top 10 running back. So you're looking at 61%. You're looking at 58%. That's all Bashal Tootin needs. That's all you really want him to get. You don't want him to get 70% of the running back volume. You just want 61%. You want 58%. You get that, you're getting a top 12 running back. So anybody that tells you like, oh, but Rodriguez is there. Rodriguez, he knows Rodriguez. Liam Cohen knows Rodriguez. It's just, it's the dumbest narrative I've ever heard. You know who he knows a little bit better? Bashal Tootin, who played for him last year. Rodriguez, how many years ago did Rodriguez play with Liam Cohen? You know, was Liam Cohen even calling plays? Like, what was going on there? Describe it to me. You know it so well. You keep talking about it, not you. Specifically, my boy, I appreciate your super chatting. I'm not yelling at you, Bricked. I'm just saying that people that say that to me, like, oh, you better tell me about it. Tell me how Liam Cohen and Rodriguez worked together. How did it look? Did it look similar to, oh, I'll draft this guy as my future running back, work with them for a full year? I think this rapport and relationship's a little stronger than Rodriguez and Liam Cohen's. It's just ridiculously no ball knowledge comment from somebody when they say that nonsense. Anybody says that, just turn around and walk away the other direction. But he knows. I heard this. They're literally reading off their hand. They wrote it down. They heard it on a podcast that Liam Cohen, he coached Rodriguez in college. Holy shit! Holy shit! Are you kidding me? I just found out about this. Rodriguez and Liam Cohen were in the same room in 1999. His mom babysat for his uncle's nephew's daughter's cousin. Like, what are we doing, bro? So anybody that says that's reading it off their hand because they just heard it. They know nothing about it. All right, Hammer, anything else?
No, that's all I have. Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Appreciate your super chats, bro.
All right, peace. All right, you're good.
All right. Tootin' to the moon. Tootin' to the moon. Anybody else have anything else? I smell some food getting cooked, and I don't know what it is. Miss Smitty's cooking something. It's not meatloaf. It smells like macaroni and cheese of some sort. Baked potato. Bacon. Something's going on in the kitchen. It's not meat, unless that's a new kind of meatloaf, which might be the case. Anything else before I go eat whatever Miss Smitty's cooking in the kitchen right now? Dial into the show. Any final phone calls? Go.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Do I have a Tootin' video yet? Do I not have a Tootin' video? Don't I have a Tootin' video? I feel like maybe I made one and I never played it or something. I could feel like I did create one. If not, I need to make it immediately. I heard Rodriguez was Cohen's father's brother's nephew's cousin's former. It was the laundry mat specialist that potentially knew Liam Cohen back in college when Liam Cohen went to the library once. Borrowed a pencil from the librarian's daughter's cousin's uncle. And that's how Liam Cohen knows Rodriguez. It's like this. All right, hold on. Let me go to these two callers. 977, you're live first. 201, mute yourself. I'll be right with you. Go ahead, Andrew. You're live.
What's going on, Smitty?
What's up, my man?
Hey, what do you think about Sean Tootin this year? Nah, I'm playing Smitty. I'm playing Smitty.
You
I'm a little.
What up?
I love you, Smitty. I'm just calling to send some love and getting ready for this fantasy season, and that's all. And I hope you have a good dinner. That's all I'm calling.
Thank you, pal. I hope I like it. I hope this isn't, when you smell something like this, you're like, oh, she's cooking something, and then you walk out and you hate it. You're like, oh, you made shrimp scampi. Okay, it's not what you wanted. No, it sounds great. So excited.
Baked potatoes.
I thought it was baked, but like what I'm picturing right now is a baked potato, all buttered up, bro, and mac and cheese like on top of it. With bacon in it. Like, yeah, that's what I'm smelling right now. I'm gonna be so disappointed. I walk out and it's like I don't know, a carrot casserole or something. I should go get a plate and bring it in.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll do it. Maybe on the outro, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it sitting here. I'll go get the plate and I'll bring in what it is. Everybody's probably waiting to hear what it is. All right. Anything else, bro? You got nothing?
Nothing. Just that, and can't wait for the fantasy season.
All right. Call in later, bro. Appreciate you.
All
right. 201. You're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up?
What's up? So, I did a startup dynasty about, I think, it was Sunday. We just started up a dynasty. It's my first dynasty ever. And I wanted to see what you think about my team.
All right. Hit me with it.
All right. So we got, so it's a 13. We start 13. Whole roster's 23. 23 man. So
Superflex.
I have Dak. Superflex, yes.
Superflex dynasty. Okay.
So, at running back, I have Devon Achane, Hampton, Bashaw Tootin, Josh Jacobs, and Keaton Mitchell. Receivers, I have C.D. Lamb, T. Higgins, Amon Ra.
Hold on one second. C.D. Lamb, T. Higgins, Amon Ra?
Amon Ra. Yeah.
Okay, let's put him second. T. Okay.
Michael Pittman, Jordan Tyson, Parker Washington, and Troy Franklin. And then my quarterbacks is Dak, Jared Goff, and then I have Jacoby Brissett and Michael Penix.
Okay.
And then at tight ends, I have George Kittle, Hunter Henry, Mark Andrews, and David Njoku. And then my defense is Houston and New England.
Okay. All right. I like the team a lot. Dak and Goff and Brissett's pretty formidable, honestly. I mean, am I trying to upgrade that? I suppose. Do I get rid of Jacobs? Absolutely. I wouldn't have drafted him, to be honest. But to trade Jacobs and T for one player, Jacobs and Parker Washington for one player, Jacobs and Kittle for a tight end upgrade, Jacobs and Goff for a quarterback upgrade, Jacobs and Parker Washington for that. I'm not saying you're going to get JJ, but you never know. Brissett, Jacobs, and P. Wash for JJ. Going after, honestly, this team looks great. Your running backs are fantastic. It's your two wide receivers are unbelievable. I think I'm just using Jacobs to upgrade T, Kittle, or Goff, and then I'm just smashing the hell out of the trade offer button until I get something that I love.
Yeah, once I got Jacobs, I was like, why? Why did I get this man? He's pretty old, but I knew I wanted to use him as
He's
trade
also
bait.
Trouble.
It's yeah, and it's salary cap, so I'm just trying to navigate the cap space. We started with like 300 mil, so yeah, I'm just gonna try to get a trade off.
Can I tell you that like I'm not opposed to like a Mike Evans type of Jacobs move, to be honest?
Okay. I actually, one of my league mates, he said he would trade me if I give him a second and Parker Washington for Mike Evans, he would do that.
Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that for your win now potential here because you were in a win now mode, but Parker Washington does have a little more appeal than I think Jacobs does, to be honest. But Jacobs might have more value, so it's kind of like a tricky situation. Take, like Evans has 1 to 2 years left, probably, assume one. And P. Wash has kind of a long career ahead of him. So it definitely helps you now to get Mike Evans. Mike Evans can score. He can lead the league in touchdowns and touchdown receptions. So there's nothing to balk over when you're saying, okay, let me get rid of P. Wash for Mike Evans to win now, because you have a win now team. Then I probably use Jacobs to upgrade Dak or Goff. And if I got to throw in T. Higgins, I'll even do that and throw Tyson in my lineup, bro. Or if you have to start 3 wide receivers. But yeah, P. Wash in a second for Mike Evans to win now. I'm all about it, bro. I honestly love Mike Evans that much this year. I don't care if I'm renting him for 1 year. And I like P. Wash, but I think it's worth doing. But then T. Higgins and Jacobs for one better player. Dak and Jacobs, Goff, Jacobs, Kittle and Jacobs, Kittle, Brissett and Jacobs. Just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, bro, until you get it to stick, right?
Do you think like a lateral move from like Jacobs to like Tet would be a good move?
Yeah, but then I'd probably try and flip Tet because I like Tet, but I would want to upgrade him personally.
Yeah.
Because I think Tyson's going to be pretty damn good himself, and I want to get that quarterback upgrade or get into that JJ, bro. Like Jacobs and T. Higgins for JJ and something. Jacobs and Parker Washington for JJ. Give up second rounders if you've got to. Give them 3 second rounders, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nice team.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, later, bro.
All right, wait.
All right, we are out of here. We'll be back at midnight Eastern for the Graveyard Show. And don't forget, the Graveyard Show will be taking over the extender part of the show eventually. Maybe not tonight, but probably by August 1 or by July 4th is when we might make that shift. So if anybody would love to be here tonight, maybe we, I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe we try it tonight and see if we can get the extender vibe going on the Graveyard Show. All right, I'll see you all at midnight Eastern for yet another show. I'll be drafting on Underdog, promo code Smitty. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000 in bonus credit. So if you want to draft with us tonight, hit this link in the live chat. If you're watching the replay of this video, the link is in the description of the video, and code Smitty gets it done as well. We'll be drafting tonight on Underdog on the Graveyard Show. I'll see you all there. Appreciate you. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, almost every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live almost whenever big news breaks, and live almost every single midnight Eastern. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, DeBalt. Thank you, Aldi. Thank you, Simi Valley. Thank you, Terry Vampy. Anybody else? Oh, I told you guys I was going to bring the food in. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let's go get a plate and bring it in. All right, bad news. The potatoes aren't ready yet, but it is loaded potatoes. I don't think there's macaroni and cheese. I don't want to sound ungrateful, so I'm lowering my voice. Like, there's no mac and cheese. No, fine, get it yourself. I don't think there's any mac and cheese, but I'll put it on my Instagram. So if you don't know, my Instagram's right here, The Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. So check it out there. I'll put a picture up. All right, be back at midnight. Thank you, Hammer, for the Double super chats. Thank you, Bricked, Jesse, Yeet, Mark, Alec. I don't know if BJ Cool is out there. BJ Cool, you're out there? I keep telling everybody how I appreciate you dropping the super chat here. And BJ Cool, I have not yet heard from. I just wanted him to know I appreciate him. See you all at midnight.